Imagine waking up at 5 AM every single day for a whole week to practice one single mechanic. Ah, fuck. So with over 1k hours into the game, I've never took the time to learn something mechanically challenging, always have been grinding the basics. But after a while, this tends to get a bit dull, so I decided to challenge myself and learn how to air dribble. And do this 3 hours a day. And for a whole week. So the point of this video is to, while showing you my progression over the course of these 7 days, to give you some advice on how to air dribble and especially on how to practice it. So that if you're starting out learning how to air dribble as well, you have to spend less time trying to figure all of this stuff out by yourself. So in the upcoming minutes, I'll give you some tips on how to efficiently practice and execute an air dribble. But before we do that, let's explain the monstrosity of a routine first. As you probably know by now, this practice routine is 3 hours of non-stop air dribbling and consists out of 3 exercises, 1 hour each. Of course you can change the amount of time you spend on any of these exercises depending on how much you enjoy the sunlight. A good air dribble consists out of 2 key aspects, the setup and aerial ball control. So for the first hour I focused solely on ball control, as that's my biggest weak point. I did this by playing the Air Dribble challenge map from the Steam workshop, and oh boy, that's some difficult shit. For the second hour I concentrated on getting consistent setups by playing 2 training packs, one on ground air dribbles and one on wall and ground air dribbles. Both map codes will be in the description. Now isolating the main ingredients of an air dribble is a good way to get better quickly, but we're still lacking that in-game scenario feeling. So to glue all the pieces together into one fluent mechanic, I spent the last hour air dribbling free play, over
and over and over again,
until my timer went off and I finally could see my friends and family again. For the purpose of this video I also measured my progress, which I recommend you to do as well, as day-to-day progress isn't always that obvious, but when you have clips to look back to, it actually works really motivating. So, to measure my progress, I looked at my record time of the air dribble map, plus, after every session I tried to score as many air dribbles as possible in free play in the time span of 5 minutes. Which oddly gives you a lot of pressure, because you constantly want to break your record from the previous benchmark, which is a good thing, because as you're under pressure it leans more towards a game scenario where you get pressured by defenders as well. It's basically like Flappy Bird, only if you fail you just want to smash your controller through your monitor. Anyways, enough chit chat, let's see if this training routine is worth the money. Before starting this journey, I just want to let you know I really appreciate you taking a minute to check this video out, and it would honestly mean the world to me that if you do, you could like this video and leave a sub, as this helps the channel out a lot. Appreciate it. Enjoy. Okay, starting off with the air dribble challenge. This is a difficult one if you're not used to it. The key things you want to try to get under your belt is to get under the ball and hit it dead center upwards. That's something I had been neglecting the first few days, as I was just trying to keep the ball up without much thought. You really want to focus on the ball and your car's momentum, and thus the way you hit the ball to keep it up. Try to look at it like normal dribbling, where there's a white circle underneath the ball and you want to stay in the center of that circle. Now in the air you want to hit the ball in the center as well, only now you don't have a white circle as a reference. But it's the same concept and it helps you get a feeling for where to hit the ball. Also, better examples will be shown with footage of later days. Some other helpful things I've learned is to, first of all, keep ball cam on. That's something I didn't do until the 3rd day, but when I did, my average time went up by like 2 or 3 seconds, just because it's easier to see where to hit a ball and air rolling around the ball to keep it under control. Another good thing I learned, on day 4 I think, is to not instantly go. Let the ball go up first, then hit it with the center of your nose in a straight vertical line, like mentioned before, and then bounce it for like 2 or 3 more times and then start to control it, and let it sit on the nose of your car. This way it's easier to get the ball under control, as well as it gives you a couple of extra seconds on your time. On day 6 and 7 I made major breakthroughs in my muscle memory. Somebody on TikTok gave me a golden tip, and that is to use less boost and more momentum, which I never really thought of. Unconsciously I used way too much boost, stayed too close to the ball and thus lost control over it. So what you want to do is to hit the ball upwards and then use boost to stay up, but don't fly too much towards the ball, but rather let the ball fall on your nose again and bounce it up like mentioned before. See how all these things intertwine? That's the thing you want to go for. Now for training packs. I had difficulties with these ones for the first few days. I was totally not consistent at all, especially because of the setup. So what I did, and what I recommend you to do, is to take some time to isolate the setup and really focus on that. Try to hit the ball on the bounce, well upwards and within a reasonable distance, and then reset the shot and try again. Don't use too much boost or you'll hit it too hard. You kinda wanna match your car speed with the ball's momentum when it's falling down, which is difficult to train in training packs as the ball falls down with the same speed every time, but it's something you'll definitely develop a natural feeling for if you isolate and practice the setup a lot. Same thing for following the ball up. To have a soft catch, you still wanna match your car speeds to the ball speed. Then just before you hit the ball, you wanna stop boosting and let the ball fall on top of your nose. And as soon as you make contact, you wanna start boosting again. Now the setup from the wall is a bit different than from the ground, as you're not letting the ball bounce on the ground, but you're letting it roll up the wall, right? Same thing applies here again. Match your car's speed with the ball's momentum. This way, the ball will stay close to you when you hit it properly. If your car goes faster than the ball, you hit the ball away. If your car goes slower, you get a poor hit. Same with grounded dribbles. Now to hit the ball properly off the wall, you want to hit the ball with the front of the nose of your car. Not with the corner, but with the nose of your car. If you hit it with the corner, the ball won't come much from the wall. Try to hit the ball with your nose as though you're aiming towards the goal. This way you'll always pop the ball towards where you want to go, i.e. the net. Now, once you got the setup down and you can somewhat control the ball, you'll have to try and make the mechanic as hard as possible to see the most improvement in the shortest amount of time. This means doing it quicker and or with added flair. For example, once I got my setups and ball control consistent, around day 4, I started learning to air dribble backwards and with spins. This was pretty difficult, but it challenged me in new ways and I had to make conscious effort to get an air dribble down instead of mindlessly doing 3 hours of the same practice every day. So, in conclusion, here are the results of the air dribble map and benchmarks, as well as footage of my progression during these benchmarks. From not being able to land a single air dribble in the benchmark on day 1 to 21 air dribbles on day 7 with decent form is a good improvement in my opinion for only practicing a week, so the routine clearly helped. Isolating the main parts of the mechanic and practice those intensely to then mold them together all into one fluid execution, making the exercises gradually more and more difficult than they have to be in a game, and finally tipping it off with a daily benchmark is a really good way to practice more advanced mechanics, and this is a method I'll definitely apply in the future when learning other mechanics like ceiling shots or flipper resets. So I hope this video was enjoyable for you to watch, and I really hope you learned something from it in terms of air dribbling or practicing in general. If not, then I hope that it at least made you a little warm to challenge yourself into doing this as well. Making this vid, it surely motivated me to do this again, so let me know if you want to see more. I also want to say a quick thank you for the support and biting through this difficult period with me. As you may or may not know, the reason why I haven't uploaded in 2 months is because I had exams. Yuck. But during this period, we've reached our first milestone, which is 100 subs, and we also managed to climb all the way to 300 plus. So I'm truly grateful, and this is really motivating towards new videos. Thank you so much for watching and have a beautiful day. Cheers.